world doesn't care how you feel anyway. So like the world doesn't give a shit. You're either a winner or a loser. You're either gonna push to succeed or you're not. We live in a world based on action. It's binary. It's yes or no. You're either gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. Like people, when I tell people this, like, you don't understand. It's like, I do understand. I just don't care.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's a difference. I understand you feel sad, but me and everyone else alive doesn't give a fuck. I say this to people. I'm depressed. I'm like, well, life's depressing. You're getting older. You're gonna die. You know, there's a whole bunch of people with a bunch more money than you. Welcome to the fucking real world. Life's depressing. Are you a bitch? You're gonna cry about it? Or you're gonna do something about it? Like, life is depressing. Who told us? Tell me where it says in the human handbook that we're supposed to be happy all of the time.
Right.
We're not supposed to be happy. We're supposed to survive. Now, if you're a man, you can survive even if you're miserable. I say this all the time. Give me depression, you wouldn't even notice. This is what pisses them off, because they're like, oh yeah, you wouldn't be able to function. I guarantee I can still drive my Lambo and fuck women. I guarantee you.
Right.
Because I refuse to be such a baby that I'm going to sit there and go, well, I feel a certain way, so I have to act a certain way. No. One of the number one tenets of masculinity, in fact, it's probably the primary tenet of masculinity, is acting different to how you feel. This is the primary tenet of masculinity. Do you think the men on the Titanic felt like dying? No, but they acted a certain way because they were men. The women and the children are afraid and they're going to run. I'm afraid and I'm going to stay here because I'm a man. As a man, you have to control your emotions. So I don't give a shit if you're depressed. There's no excuse to not be an adult and make sensible decisions based on discipline alone. I'm too depressed to train. No, you lack discipline. Because I've felt miserable. Every single person has. I didn't miss a gym session, ever. So I don't believe in that crap. I don't believe in it. As a man, you can build your character from the ground up. You can decide, do I want to be a hard-ass UFC fighter? Do I want to be a rock star? Just like a video game. You can build your character. Who do I want to be? And you can build it from the ground up. And this is what's so amazing, is that every single man is born with stability, but most of them are too fucking lazy to do it.
Exactly.
They sit there and go, you know what, Tate, man, you know, you're fighting, you're driving a Lambo, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, why didn't you fight? Oh, I never had the time. Shut up. You could have fought. You could have been married to me. Obviously, I'm being nice when I say this. Of course, you stand a chance to tell, but I'll say it anyway. You might have beaten me. Never, but still. You know, you might have beaten me, but you didn't even train. You didn't even try. Exactly. Like, you're going to sit there with your video game and level up your character, but you won't level up your real life self. And this is the truth. And people sit there and go, yeah, but it's hard. You wouldn't want it if it wasn't hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would have it. They would have no value. If everybody had a six-pack, you wouldn't want a fucking six-pack. This is the beauty of it. People don't understand that the fact it's hard is what makes it beautiful. That's what makes it good. That's what makes you want it at all. Why is a nice body so coveted? Because people know how hard it is to have a nice body. If we all could just shred like this, it wouldn't mean anything. Value and scarcity are linked. They're together. So you can't sit and complain about the value of things and then complain it's hard. This is the truth about men. There's a whole generation of men who have been raised without being prepared for war. Yep. Because that's what life is. It's a war for resource. It's a war for females. It's a war for attention. It's a war for domination. It's war. And as a man, you have to establish yourself in a hierarchy of men. There is a global hierarchy of men. And there are men out there right now who are born with every genetic advantage, and they're 7'2" NBA players made of muscle. And that's life. And there's men out there who are 5'5" and they're not. But that doesn't make a difference. You still have to find a way to fight and compete. You have to do your best with what you've got. That's it. That's the game. Or you sit there, jerk off, and cry. Absolutely. And these men are, like I said, these men are being raised, and they're not prepared for war. They're not prepared. They're not battle ready. And this is what's happened to a whole generation of men. They're literally simply not battle ready. They think life is supposed to be easy. They think their end goal is that they're supposed to be happy. They don't realize that life is a fight. That's what it is. It's one big battle as a man, and that's how you have to prepare yourself. You can't be sitting there going, why am I not happy? I say this all the time. People say to me, oh, but Tate, when I was talking about the depression thing, they said, oh, but you're happy. I said, I would never describe myself as happy. I'm not unhappy. I'm not happy. The idea of happy, it's not a spectrum that enters my mind. I'm a disciplined individual who does what he knows is right to live the life he wants to live. Happy and sad is completely separate to how my life is organized. Like, I don't see this idea of people constantly being told you need to be happy all the time, no matter what. As soon as you feel a little bit sad, pop this pill. It's insane. It's insane. And America's the worst of this. Everyone over there is taking something. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we wonder why everyone's shooting each other. It's like the whole thing, everyone's lost their minds.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
suicide is for cowards. The point I was making is that a lot of these people who kill themselves, you have children. I don't care how sad you are. I don't care how sad you are. You have kids.
Yeah.
And let's forget the kids thing for a second. When you come along and say to me, oh, Tate, I'm depressed. I don't want to live anymore, whatever. Do you have any idea how disrespectful that is to your parents? Think of the shit your parents went through to get your ass alive, to feed you, the doctor's appointments, taking your ass to school, waking up, feeding you, the money they had to make, all that shit they went through. So 20 years later, you can say you're sad and jump off a fucking bridge? Do you have any respect for your elders and your ancestors? These are people born without basic respect. They should have too much respect for their last name and their parents to walk around like a moping sack of shit. You have too much respect for the people who worked hard to bring you to life to be acting that way. Childish. These are childish individuals. When I see some next fucking idiot jumped off a bridge, killed himself, whatever, I don't sit there and go, oh, it must have been so hard for him. Oh, Mr. Millionaire rock star killed himself. Must be so hard for him. I just think he's a coward. Because I think he's a coward, he's a pussy. That's it. This is another thing where it comes back to motivation and discipline. I want to really stress the difference between those two things. I was a 4-time kickboxing world champion. For 12 years, I trained 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I was motivated to train probably about 25% of the time. The rest of the time, I went because I am disciplined. Just like you're talking about your ultra marathon. You don't feel like going through that shit on a Wednesday morning when you wake up, and you have to do it because you're disciplined. You're either a disciplined individual or you are not a disciplined. To sit there and say, and I'm going to tell you the truth, Rand, a shit spiral, what does that mean? You go on Pornhub, or you start clicking on cat videos on YouTube. Like, if you really wanted money, you would not do that. So you don't really want it. There's a difference between want and want. And I say this all the time. People say to me, I want to be rich. And I say, okay, well, I want to be able to ice skate. But I don't want to be able to ice skate enough to go learn how to ice skate because I can't be bothered. I mean, surely if I could click my fingers and be a figure skater, I'd click my fingers. Who wouldn't? Well, I don't want to actually go train because I don't want it enough. And this is the exact point with money. Everyone wants money put on their lap. If you truly wanted money, you wouldn't be able to sleep until you fucking had it.
Yeah.
And this is the point. So you're saying you go down a shit spiral, then you're not cut out to be rich, my friend. Get a job in Starbucks. You piss off. Some people, because when I had nothing, I couldn't be distracted. You couldn't distract me from what I wanted. That's who I am. If I want something, I'm going to get it. So I don't know what more you want me to say. I do not need to be motivated. I'm a disciplined person. If I allocate X amount of time to work, I'm going to do it. One of the only things in this world you can control is your state of mind. You can't control the weather. You can't control other people. You can't even control your health. You might get a brain hemorrhage. You might get hit by a bus. You might get assassinated. One of the very few things in the world you have genuine control over is your state of mind. You decide if you're a disciplined person. You decide if you're a happy person. You decide if you're a depressed person. These are things that in real time you can affect in your brain. This is all you can control on Earth. If you can't control that, then you're just a feather in the wind. And life's going to blow you around, and you might land somewhere good. You might land in dog shit. Nobody knows. So if you're going to be that kind of person, then you're at, like you said it perfectly, you have no will, then you're just at the whims of the earth. Who knows? You're going to watch something on TV, and they're going to tell you something, and you're going to believe it. You're going to march and hold the sign, and blah, blah. You're going to be an idiot. Yeah. Your state of mind is what you should be able to control. If you can't wake up and say, today I'm making some money, and actually try your very, very best, and actually stay dedicated to that task. If you can't do that,